In any situation, we can trust God to take care of us. Even in trying times, He will always provide for us. When it feels like everything is crashing down around you and you have nowhere to turn, God is there for you. In Romans 13:1-7, the Apostle Paul explains how we should respond when we find ourselves caught up in a troubling situation. When things go wrong and our faith is put to the test, it's easy to let fear get the best of us. At these moments, we must stand firm and trust that God is working everything out for good. It can be scary when things seem like they're falling apart around you, but when they feel that way, it's usually because God is going to work something wonderful in your life as a result of it. Here are some points that can help you handle tough situations in your life. Trust God in every situation. When things go wrong and our faith is put to the test, it's easy to let fear get the best of us. At these moments, we must stand firm and trust that God is working everything out for good. Perhaps you're in a difficult situation such as a financial hardship, a health issue, or a relationship issue. Maybe you're trying to figure out what to do with your life. Or maybe you're dealing with a tough decision that has the potential to greatly impact your future. Whatever the situation may be, remember that God is always with you, and He is always working things out for your good. Adopting the right mindset. While we should trust God in every situation, we must also be careful not to let fear get the best of us. In other words, we must learn to adopt a mindset that isn't ruled by fear. When we let fear take control of our lives, it makes us miss out on so much joy. Instead, we are constantly worried, anxious, and stressed out. We must learn to adopt a mindset that is determined to not let fear get the best of us. This can be difficult at times, but with practice, we can learn to not let fear dictate the way we live our lives. Don't be anxious or fearful. If you find yourself struggling with anxiety or fear, then it's important to remember that God is on your side. He promises to never leave you nor forsake you. Instead, He is with you every step of the way. So when things go wrong, don't be anxious or fearful. Instead, trust that God is working it all out for good. If you find yourself struggling with anxiety or fear, there are a few things you can do to get your mind off it. Try going for a walk, writing in a journal, reading your Bible, or spending time in prayer. Remember that God is in control. At the end of the day, we must remember that God is in control. This is a big one, as so many people forget this when things go wrong in their lives. When we forget that God is in control, it leads to all kinds of problems. For example, it leads to fear and anxiety because we don't know what's going to happen next. It also leads to worry, stress, anger, and resentment because we feel like we have no control over the situation. When we remember that God is in control, it helps us to deal with the tough situations in our lives in a healthy way. It also keeps us from falling into sin as a result of our circumstances. Commit to doing what's right. When things go wrong and you're surrounded by a situation that feels out of your control, it's easy to begin making poor decisions because you feel like you have no other choice. However, it's important to remember that you always have a choice. At the end of the day, you must commit to doing what's right, even when it's the hard thing to do. It's going to be tough, but you can do it. At times like these, it's important to look to other people for support and encouragement. You can also turn to God for strength and comfort, knowing that He will be there for you. At times like these, it's important to remember that God is in control, and He will use all of these to bring good into your life. In fact, He has already planned these things to take place, and He has a purpose for it all. It's just up to us to trust Him and be faithful to Him even in the hardest of times. When things go wrong and you feel like the situation is out of control, remember that God is in control, and He will work everything out for good.